Hey folks, welcome to Andy's Audio Crap, where we talk about audio gear in all of its glory. Today we have a Marantz and a Rotel, and this is a Rotel from the dark ages of Rotel. I'll get into why I had to use a dark ages Rotel in the video here, but what we're really trying to find out is, can we find a cheap substitute for the Marantz sound without actually buying a Marantz? Let's get into it. If you've already watched one of these videos, you'll probably want to skip ahead to like 7 minutes or so. The Marantz part of the videos do not change on the entire series. Hopefully you're already familiar with Marantz. They have a long legacy of creating some of the most sought after, most desirable receivers and amplifiers. This in particular is a 2230. The 2230, they sold, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of these, but they used to be a dime a dozen. You could go out on any alley and find 2 or 3 of them. I'm being a little sarcastic, but 10 years ago these were next to worthless. Now these are just going through the roof. So why? Well, they sound absolutely killer good. In my pursuit to find something that can substitute in for this, I'm going to be looking at several different categories. This is my receiver stereo amp score sheet, and every amp that I compare to the Marantz is going to get a score sheet. The Marantz got a score sheet, and what we're going to look at on the score sheet is listening crap, input output rating crap, and value add crap. Now, let's go through the Marantz in particular. I gotta find it. There's a lot of them. I compared a lot of amps here, receivers. Top to bottom, this amplifier, as this one sits right now, would probably sell for $800 to $1,200 on eBay, depending on the day, depending on the buyer. It's Christmas time. God knows it's just gonna go crazy. So that classic 70s sound is what you're gonna get with one of these. You look at the controls, you only have a very limited amount of controls on this thing. You have a receiver, you have tone controls, which is low, medium, high, bass, mid, treble. You have phono in, aux in, and a couple of cassettes, I think. No, one cassette, and that's it. You got a pre-out, main in, things like that. It's really super basic, but it sounds absolutely phenomenal. And the looks, you can't deny it. The looks are great. Now, on the listening crap, because this is our benchmark, and we want to be able to distinguish between this and other receivers that I'm going to review, it gets 5s all the way down. Total score 25. We're going to score inputs 10 each, and we're only looking at aux, CD, and phono. If it can do 4 ohms, it gets 20 points. Non-surround sound speaker outputs. So we're going to be doing some stereos that have surround sound. I just don't even care about the other outputs, only the main outs. Left-right channel leakage. This one's a little bit of an odd duck, but it's pretty easy to test. You unplug one channel from the input, unplug the speaker from the opposite, and, or no, you plug in, oh, no, wait, I got that wrong. You unplug one of the inputs, unplug the same speaker, no, the other one. Anyways, it's some mix of that, and if you can hear audio coming through, there's leakage. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the Marantz at a -10, which is the middle. Separation and stage, kind of a byproduct of a lot of things: dynamic range, leakage, just general ability of the stereo to replicate stereo sound. We're gonna again put Marantz right in the middle. It's gonna be a 10. So Marantz got a total input output or input total output thing. This crap score right here, it's got a 60. And then the value add crap is stuff like serviceability, which this one, we're gonna put it at the max. We're gonna say, this is the max of serviceability. Everything from there on out is just going downhill, right? If you can match the serviceability of this, actually, you know, just gonna use my own experience here, this thing is ridiculously serviceable. Build quality, we're gonna put this right in the middle. We're gonna say, hey, this is middle tier, and you're gonna see on some of these amps that they just went to the hilt to outdo themselves on things that you'll never ever see unless you're working on them. And then value, price. Now, the Marantz is gonna be lower on this scale, right? It's very expensive for what it is, for how many watts you're getting, and well, you'll see as you watch these videos, you'll see the faceplate option and just general attractiveness. Marantz, I put it at a 40 on both. There are better ones out there, and I'm looking at one of them right now. Hopefully you subscribe, because this is going to be a series. I don't know how long it's going to go on. I just keep finding stuff and buying it to review against the Marantz. Let's talk about this Rotel. This dude is from the dark ages of Rotel, and I call this the dark ages because they are bland. They are not exciting. They had come from silver faces that were really actually kind of nice to look at, to this kind of Rotelish, hellish, black bland stuff, to the Rotel that you see from the early 2000s, and then their modern stuff, their more modern stuff looks even better yet. Now, this is the last of the Rotel series that did not require a remote. That's one of the rules for this comparison. It also is extremely cheap. It also is heavily prone to failure. The failure in these isn't the insides. This thing is absolutely built to withstand a hurricane. It's just absolutely wonderfully rebuilt. But the dials, these sensor dials, they're not potentiometers. Maybe they are, but I don't know what they're technically called. They're like a sensor, and when you dial it up, you'll see that the volume is going up and down as I move this here. Well, that's because this one's been maintained, and the situation on almost all of these is that when you move this dial, it looks like an auctioneer going between three different prices. It'll be like 1 2 3 2 2 2 2 1 1 1 2 2 3 3 3 4 4 3 4, and you get the point. It won't actually change, and that's because that sensor in there is dirty, and all you have to do is crack it open. It's really super easy to do. You can do it in about 20 minutes. You crack it open and clean it out. And I did it to all of them in this one because I figured that, you know, the others were just a matter of time on those dials. Now, once I got it working, it sounds beautiful. I do have the remote for this one, so I was able to use it even before I fixed it. And that's the other thing too, is like if you have a remote for these, you don't even have to fix that pot. You just have to have the remote so that you can change that out. All right, this is the RSX 965. Again, we're comparing it to the Marantz here, and the Marantz got 5s all the way down on the test songs. So this Rotel, and if I accidentally call this the Marantz, just don't even bother telling me. This is like the 5th take I've done on this because I keep calling it Marantz. I don't know why I'm obsessed with calling the Rotel Marantz. Anyways, so this dude got a 20 overall on the songs, and it's just like one count down on a consistent basis. So it sounds similar to the Marantz. It really does. The Rotel is very close, but it feels like it has its muzzle on it. It feels like it has a muzzle on it, and you can never really get it there. It's like you can fidget with everything that this thing will allow you to fidget with as far as the sound is concerned, and you can never quite get there. But it feels like you could. It's like, I don't know, one of those gals that keeps flirting with you that you're like, oh man, maybe someday she'll let me take her out on a date or something like that. You know, it's like, that's probably not a good, yeah, that's not a good comparison, but you get the point, right? It's just almost there. You're like, God dang it, you could get there. You could do it if you wanted to, buddy. And it can't. I'm here to tell you, it can't. And it even gets worse in the newer ones. It's like they are so muzzled. It's like they took away the punch button, the loudness button, or I think Rotel has a different term for it, but it's like that magic button on here. It's loudness. All right, so on Rocket Man, Mama said, take 5, Enter Sandman guitars and Cadillacs, 4s, all the way down. It sounded like this, just with a muzzle on. So it didn't sound like this. You could take that for what it's worth. Within the like inputs, outputs, and the rating crap. Now I'll put the pictures on the screen here so you can see a picture of the score sheet itself. It got a 30, and it got dinged for the 4 ohm feature. It just doesn't do it. Not that I could find anyways. So there's no documentation that I could find that said this thing will do 4 ohms. It only has like 2 outs for front. So you only can do 4 sets of speakers, or 2 sets. You can do one set, 2 speakers on this thing. So it got dinged for that. It did have kind of minor leakage. It's not nearly as bad as the Marantz. The Marantz's leakage is pretty darn bad. And by the way, on that, I mentioned that on every video, and nobody said anything about it so far, which is cool. Great, thank you. All the Marantzes that I have of this vintage do this. I'm getting ready to probably post a video comparing the two just to show that they have the same dang leakage. Separation in stage, it's just kind of average. It's not really great. All right, let's talk about like the value add crap. The price is absolutely great. They're cheap. If you're good at repairs, you can probably get one super cheap. You probably just end up paying like a couple bucks plus shipping. And then as far as like the build quality, this thing is built like a tank. It's heavy. It's really good. Serviceability is going to be low because it has a lot of modern parts that were only used in this era of Rotel. So yeah, if it dies, it probably is going to have to hit the trash, or you take the transformer out of it and probably make a couple bucks, because that's definitely got some copper in it. It's heavy. It does not come in silver that I know of. It's all blackface. These plastic things on the side are usually broken off when you find them. I'm like just lucky to have these. I think maybe these came off and you could put like a rack handles on it. Maybe. It's tempting to say so because they move so easily. Like they just like could snap off. The faceplate is like metal, but then you go down to the knobs and they're all plastic. So the damage to the knobs is highly likely in shipping because they get pounded. So visually attractive, it's just not visually attractive. So overall, this thing, let's look at the graphs, fell way below the Marantz, both on sound and features and the value add crap. It all pushes it down. As far as the the value that this has in general, yeah, it has some value. I would say that, you know, if you are comfortable with just the close to Marantz sound, this is a good candidate. It is. You know, if you're looking for a garage stereo because you don't want a Marantz sitting in your garage, you know, this is perfect. This is absolutely 100% perfect for that. And that's about all I could say about this dude here. I'm gonna let you listen to it here in just a second. Really appreciate you watching. Please, if you need parts for your vintage pieces or you're looking for records or something like that, visit the eBay store. It's Andy's Audio Crap on eBay. And really appreciate it. Please forgive me if I did call this thing a Marantz during the video filming. I'm so tired of refilming that just going to go with it. Thanks for watching. Give it a listen.